So that's the main aim of the year, but I've first of all got to get selected for World Cups and competitions before that, and then get on the team for the World Champs. So basically it's starting at the bottom and working my way towards the final goal this summer.
So about the selection process, what events do you have to do to get selected?
Well, it's all a ranking list, so you get several opportunities, but the bigger competitions there's more points on, so you've got to perform. If you perform well at a World Cup or something, then you get better ranking points for the list. And so it's an ongoing process.
So the events that you have, which is your favourite event?
The riding.
Okay. And your least favourite?
Well, probably the fencing, because I don't like the bruises you get afterwards. It's not very attractive.
What, with all the armour?
Oh yeah, you definitely get bruises, especially in the summer when you're wearing shorts or shorter skirts and t-shirts. It doesn't look good. It's on your leg and your bicep. You get quite a few nasty ones.
So how long would a fencing bout normally take?
Well, in the competition, the limit's a minute per fight, and if you run over that minute, then both of you get a defeat.
Okay, so you're having your arm raised for a whole minute. And
yeah.
How would you train for that, say in the gym, or how would you kind of train for that?
It's because it's so specific. It's basically fencing training and having lessons with a coach, because that's quite intense, and you're like a half an hour or something of just purely keeping your arm up and fencing. So it's quite, for me, it's quite specific training. I don't actually do gym training.
Okay, and when you go to a gym, what kind of workouts are you doing?
I go and sit on the mat and do a few stretches and watch everyone else.
So do you do any weight training?
No.
No.
I don't. I used to, and it didn't. I did it religiously in my program for quite a few years, and it didn't really advantage me. So I just go to the gym to pose.
That's a surprise. So do you do any dynamic core work, or?
I do some core work, yeah, but that's sort of when I feel like it. It's
right.
Not,
so
it's not something that I'm programmed to. No.
That's very interesting. And with your with the running, obviously that's one of the key events in your event. How do you prepare for that?
Well, I tend to train 4 or 5 times a week for running, depending on if I'm swimming a bit more, I might run a little bit less, or if I've got a slight niggle in my legs. But I do 2 key sessions a week, and then I do 3, 1 longer run and 2 sort of recovery stroke easy runs.
So a longer run, for example, is how long?
About an hour. I don't know how far I go. People always ask how far do you run, but I don't actually know.
Do you know how fast you run?
No, I just know that I run for 60 minutes, and if I'm back home by then, that's good.
Okay. So do you do any interval training, sprint training?
Yes, I do. As the season goes on, we do shorter intervals and more sprinty stuff, especially now it's the 1K, 3K split into 1K, so we've got to be more explosive. But this time of year, I'll do interval things, but I won't necessarily have a proper rest. I'll do sort of fartlek, so a hard like 30 seconds. A typical session we do is a 30 seconds hard, 30 seconds easy, but you don't stop. Yeah. So it's not so fast, the fast bit, but it's still getting close to race pace.
So the running has changed, I believe, in
well, it's now combined with the shooting, yeah, so sort of winter biathlon style.
So do you know the distance between, say, the first run and the first shoot? Is it regular?
Yes, well, you run straight to the target of 60 metres, and then each lap's a K, so we're basically 3 times 1K.
Okay, so 3 times around, shoot 3 times. Yeah. So I presume you have to get your breathing together. And
yeah, so we're still in the early stages, and we're experimenting with what's best to do, learning from each other, and just learning from practicing basically.
Who do you train with, Jim?
I vary. I do some of my training at home, some of my training at the National Training Centre in Bath. I sort of do 50-50 between the 2.
How many modern pentathletes are there?
Well,
of national standard?
In the main centre of Bath, there's now quite a lot, but I don't really know. I think it's probably training full time. Some of them are students, but they're still pretty much full time. There's probably about 15 girls at the moment there, and then there's various athletes and up and coming ones, much younger, still at school, spread all around the country. So
I suppose having the right kit for all the events is really important, yeah?
It is. I think especially for training as well, you need to have the right support and you need to feel comfortable, and obviously when you come to competing, I think feeling good is a big part of it as well. And if you feel comfortable and feel good, then you don't have to worry about that, you can just concentrate purely on your performance.
I suppose having a good team around you as well, like family, friends and agents and so on, it's really helpful.
I'm not sure about the agents, but the rest of it is all helpful, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.